One of the most well-known and misunderstood effects of niacin is the skin flushing it can cause, particularly when taken in higher, therapeutic doses. This so-called niacin flush has become almost emblematic of the vitamin, so much so that it often dominates public perception and discourages people from using niacin at doses high enough to produce its metabolic, cardiovascular, or anti-inflammatory benefits. Yet the flushing response is neither harmful nor allergic in nature. It is a temporary, benign vascular reaction caused by the release of prostaglandin D2, and understanding this mechanism is key to demystifying niacin and reclaiming its therapeutic potential. When niacin is consumed in large amounts, typically 50 milligrams or more, and especially over 100 milligrams in immediate release form, it triggers vasodilation, or the widening of blood vessels, particularly in the skin. This response is mediated by the release of prostaglandins, especially prostaglandin D2, which signal blood vessels to expand and increase blood flow. The result is a sensation of warmth or burning, often accompanied by redness in the face, neck, and upper chest. It typically begins within 15 to 30 minutes of ingestion and subsides within an hour. While uncomfortable for some, the flush is not dangerous, nor is it a sign of allergic sensitivity, histamine release, or immune system dysfunction. Nonetheless, the dramatic and sometimes unsettling nature of the flush has led to widespread misunderstanding. Many people who experience it believe they are having an allergic reaction and may discontinue niacin use immediately. Even clinicians sometimes misinterpret the response, cautioning patients against niacin use without explaining the underlying physiology. This has contributed to the perception that niacin is difficult to tolerate and, by extension, not worth the therapeutic effort, especially when compared to newer alternatives that come with fewer sensory side effects. This widespread aversion has had significant consequences for how niacin is used in medicine. Despite its impressive ability to improve lipid profiles, reduce inflammation, support NAD+ production, and enhance cellular repair, niacin's use has sharply declined, in part because the flushing response is seen as a barrier to adherence. Patients are unlikely to continue using a therapy that makes them feel uncomfortable or alarmed, even temporarily, unless they are thoroughly educated about what to expect and why it happens. Yet this flushing phenomenon can be managed effectively with a few simple strategies. Taking niacin with food, starting with low doses and gradually increasing over time, or using extended-release formulations can all help minimize the flush. Some practitioners also recommend taking aspirin 30 minutes before niacin, as it blocks prostaglandin synthesis and significantly reduces flushing intensity. Additionally, the flush tends to diminish with regular use, as the body becomes desensitized to the prostaglandin-mediated response. Still, this nuance is rarely communicated to patients, which contributes to a cycle of avoidance and abandonment. Ironically, the very reaction that discourages so many from using niacin may also be a sign that the vitamin is actively engaging with vascular biology in a beneficial way. Some researchers believe that niacin-induced flushing may serve as a proxy for its broader cardiovascular effects, including improvements in endothelial function and nitric oxide availability. Though this remains speculative, it underscores that the flushing is not a malfunction, but a physiological expression of niacin's action in the body. In a culture that often equates sensation with harm, this subtle distinction is easily missed. The flush has also had an unintended effect on niacin's reputation outside of clinical circles. In the supplement world, products labeled no-flush niacin have become popular, usually containing inositol hexanocotinate, a compound that delivers niacin in a bound form that does not cause flushing but also fails to produce many of niacin's key metabolic effects. This has led to confusion. People believe they are taking niacin, but may not be receiving its full benefits, especially for lipid management or NAD+ synthesis. As a result, the flush has created both a practical barrier to therapeutic use and a conceptual barrier to understanding the vitamin's true capabilities. In many ways, the niacin flush is a case study in how perception can override physiology in public health. A harmless, transient, and even predictable reaction has become a major obstacle to the broader acceptance of a powerful nutrient. It's a reminder that effective therapeutic use often depends not just on biological action, but on communication, education, and the ability to contextualize what the body is doing. By reframing the flush as a sign of activation rather than alarm, we can begin to reclaim niacin's rightful place as a multifaceted, therapeutic compound and help people make more informed, empowered decisions about its use.